There's just over a month to go until Spain's new V-16 emergency light becomes mandatory. And guess what? There are fake ones on sale. Eek! If you've already bought one or haven't yet, stay tuned because today I'm answering your real questions from social media, including who actually needs the light, which ones are legal, and whether Big Brother is watching you through that built-in GPS. And also, I've bought one and I'm going to answer the question of whether the V-16 is actually visible in daylight. I'm Skatz. Welcome to YouTooSpain, where we make sense of Spain's rules before they make nonsense of us. So who actually needs the V-16? Well, it's mandatory from the 1st of January 2026 for all vehicles registered in Spain, with one exception which I'll tell you about in a minute. Until then, triangles are still valid, but you can use the beacon already. The system is active. Visitors and tourists in foreign registered cars, it is not required by law for you to have the light. You just follow your own country's safety equipment rules. Rental cars? Yes, rental companies have to provide them. It's part of the legal kit. Motorcycles. Now, here's the exception. It's not mandatory for them, but it is advisable for visibility and safety. So, yes, your UK car on holiday is fine without it, but if you're visiting or living here and your vehicle is Spanish plated, there are no excuses. Which ones are legal and why so expensive? So, to be valid, the light must have DGT 3.0 connectivity, which means they have a built-in SIM chip and GPS. Also, they must have an approval number. For example, IDIADA PC followed by a long number. That should be visible on the packaging and the advertising. The official DGT list is on their website, so I've put a link in the video description below and in the comments. You can expect to pay around €35 or more. If you find one cheaper, it could well be a fake. Temu, or Temu, however you pronounce it, and AliExpress are full of lights, a lot of which are very cheap and look suspiciously like they have copied DGT logos. However, I've seen a few comments from people who found ones that quote the correct approval number, and they're selling for about €10 cheaper than the cheapest ones on Amazon. By the way, if you find one that's very cheap on Amazon, only like €10, make sure it's not the previous issued ones without the GPS. They're not the ones you need. My advice, if you want to take it, is this. If it sounds too cheap to be true, it's probably tat. Is it worth an extra tenner to make sure you don't get a fine? Well, yes. Supermarkets have been displaying the lights, near the tills mostly, and the ones I've seen there look absolutely genuine. I wouldn't imagine that the big name supermarkets would get away with selling fake ones. Apparently, there's one in Aldi for $34.95 according to social media, and it includes a device that's a seatbelt cutter and window hammer. That sounds like a good deal to me, but check out all of the other deals at all of the big shops. Other supermarkets are available. They can usually afford to undercut each other. Is it tracking you? Okay, let's explode the Big Brother myths. The light transmits your location to DGT's 3.0 network, not to your insurer or to the grower, so it doesn't send for a breakdown truck. It's anonymous. There's no personal data sent. It just tells other drivers that there's a vehicle broken down at this exact point, so be aware and slow down. The SIM and data connection are included for at least 12 years. There should be no subscription. When it expires, check the label for that. It must say on the label. You'll eventually need a new one. So no. It's not the start of a pay-per-mile system. It's more find my car than follow my life. So relax. So what about daylight and triangles and real-world use and all of that stuff? Is the light from a €35 V-16 visible in daylight? I took one out for a test. Here's what I found. Okay, so here I am on the road doing a test of one of the V16 lights. Now, as you can see, I'm squinting my eyes. It is very bright sunlight. It's just blue skies. I've parked in a particular place where there's not usually very much traffic. Okay, so let me just show you the light. This is the particular light that I chose. It was actually the Aldi one. I'll show you the box in a minute when I get back to my studio. On this particular one, the button is on the bottom, so I'm just going to turn that one on. There we go. Now that is flashing. When I turned it on in the studio, that looked incredibly bright. I couldn't look directly at it, so there it goes. I put it on top of the car. That is very solid, and I've put it in full view. Now I'm going to gradually walk down the road. Can you see it from there? Okay, with my own eyes I can see it really quite well from here, and I can see the hazard lights as well. I've not gone all the way around the corner. Let's try it from a bit further away. So I'm over the other side of the road now. I don't know how well you can see this on the video. I'm going to zoom in, but I can see it quite well with my own eyes in the bright sunlight. There you go, there's a bit of a close-up, but from right the way back here, yeah, it's visible. I mean, you wouldn't see it round a corner, obviously. I suspect that if you were on a road on a corner that you'd want to use the triangle as well. Right, I'm back at the car now. As I say on the video, it doesn't actually look that bright, but I can assure you that is a really strong flash, and it's putting spots in front of my eyes if I look at it. So I'm going to turn it off now. I'm hoping there's no signal being picked up by the DGT at the moment. So yeah, let's turn it off. Here I am in the car. Let's show you how bright it really is. There you go. I've put it on again, and there. That's how bright the flash is in a slightly darker place, although it is still quite bright inside the car. So, my verdict, can you see this light in the daylight, in bright sunlight? Well, you can see it as much as you can see hazard lights and indicators, and let's face it, you should be able to see them. We keep complaining about Spanish drivers not putting on their indicators to tell you which direction they're going in, and if it's as bright as that, then we can see it. Then we should have no complaints. Obviously, you can't see it from around a corner, but I think if it was in the dark, then you'd see it coming. I think, especially on the windy roads from here to the coast, I think it would be visible for quite a long way off. So there you go. That's my verdict. Hey, I also said I'd show you the box, didn't I? Well, this is the box it came in. As you can see, it's got an extra thing. This is the one from Aldi that I mentioned earlier on, because we've got an Aldi just down the road in Nerca. So I thought I'll go and get one rather than ordering one from Amazon, because they're about the same price. As you can see, it's got the DG conformity. It's also got, where's the special number? Yep, it's Certificado de Cumplimiento, and there's the special number that proves it is a recognised device. So that's everything that you see on the box. The actual hammer thing that you get with this, all in with the price, it's not just a hammer. It's also got a reflective bit on it that you can see right there. It's gone completely out of focus. And at the bottom of the handle, there is a kind of a knife thing that you can slot over the seatbelt and cut your seatbelt off if you get into dire circumstances. There you go. So that's the particular one I got. Other ones are available, lots of different makes, but that's the sort of thing that you're looking out for. Proper logo, number. There's actually this number that you can see here is actually printed on the bottom of the unit itself. Most of the units that I've seen turn on with a button on the top of the device there, but this one has a button underneath. The magnet was very good. It's certainly not going to just fall off the car. So there you go. That's my test. So yes, the light can be hard to see in full sunlight. That's why many drivers are saying they will still use the triangles too. And that's perfectly legal. You don't have to throw them away, but you can't just use them on their own. And traffic police don't recommend that you walk back down the motorway to put down a triangle. That's a safety hazard, and it was one of the reasons for the introduction of the new lights. So, to clarify, the DGT's rule is this: you're only required to use the light, but nothing stops you using the triangle as well, as long as it's safe to do so. In any case, the connected beacon warns other drivers digitally, even if the light's not visible, so it's not totally useless in bright sunlight. Early buyers, fakes and tips. If you bought a non-connected model before the rule changed, well, sorry, but it's not valid after 2025. What can I say but lesson learned? I'm not going to act like a smart-ass and say, well, you should have waited, but next time there's a deadline for some mandatory piece of kit, why not leave it until a little closer to the time? Not too close though. There could be panic buying at the last minute. Sadly, there's no refund scheme, so you will just have to buy a new one. Remember, always check that the approval number matches the one or one of the ones, there's a lot, on the DGT's official list. As I said before, the link is below and it's got a search facility at the top. You can copy and paste the approval number into that little box and it's instant. You don't even have to press enter. Also check that the expiry date of connectivity is printed and that the packaging includes the DGT 3.0 logo, not a photocopy or a sticker. If in doubt, buy from a major retailer and cross-check the model. Another common question is this: why are they so expensive if they're mandatory? Is the DGT ripping us off? Well, for a start, the lights aren't made by the DGT. There's a range of prices, but they haven't got control over them. Some of the prices are actually quite competitive and some aren't. I think personally 35 quid for a strong light with GPS fitted and a strong magnet doesn't seem that expensive to me, bearing in mind it could save your life. And also, the triangles cost everyone money too, and so do the high-vis vests and any other bit of kit you add to your car for your safety or comfort. This is just the same. Spain's V-16 light isn't just another gadget. It's the future of road safety, whether we like it or not. But make sure you're lighting the right path, not wasting money on a fake. Drop your questions below. I'll be replying personally this week to the best ones, and don't forget to hit subscribe for the latest Spanish rule changes before they hit you. Thanks for watching, peas and fluff. See you next time on YouTooSpain.